Today's episode tells us a little bit about why certain people in our lives complain all the time.
Today's audio message is based on what a friend of mine shared with me. She shared her frustration at the fact that there are 3 people in her life who are always complaining and eternally grumbling, never satisfied when one problem is solved, and my friend goes out of her way to help solve that for that person, or all 3 of them. They yet continue to say, no, we want to die, this is not right, or that is not right. Now, what do we do when people in our lives are like that? Always complaining, always grumbling, never satisfied, never thankful for anything, always looking for the next thing to complain about. Now, one thing that is good for us to keep in mind is that our interaction with that person is based on a limited scope of what we receive from that person, about that person, limited knowledge, limited information, and limited experience. Most of us haven't been around in the childhood of that person, neither have we experienced the personal pains, disappointments, inner conflicts of that person, because it is always or generally a culmination of experiences, interactions, pains, disappointments, possibly mental health issues that always lead to the person ending up where the person is. So we have a very limited view. It's like the tip of the iceberg. We just see the tip of complaining and grumbling, but we don't see the hidden parts. The hidden parts include loneliness, inner pain, untold secrets, untold hurts, things that are valid to the person. And once upon a time, that person may have been the recipient of some pretty heavy, deep hurts, which have resulted in the person becoming who the person is today. So, just a word of caution. Don't write the person off as complaining and be making much ado about nothing, without realizing that there is a reason for the person to have come to the place that that person is at today. So one option is, if you are close enough, to be a sounding board for not just the present troubles, because most often than not, those might be superficial things that the person is bringing about as a result of some deeper hurts, some deeper unresolved pain that has accumulated through the years in interactions that you wouldn't be aware of. Now, we cannot bring the person to awareness of those things as lay people, as lay friends. That is only something that a trained and qualified counselor can do and should do. But what can we do? I think now that you know that there is a very strong possibility that it's a whole lot of other things that have heaped up and piled up over the years, maybe over the decades, very legitimate things that could have ended up being the cause for the person being where the person is today, that could perhaps help you to be a little more understanding and patient, because now you can take a step back and realize, oh, this is deeper than what it seems like. Now, to me, it seems like she has everything now sorted out because it's been taken care of, and now she's looking for the next thing to complain about. For you, it will seem very much like she's just a bitter complainer, one of those people who drains, what they call vampires, sucking the energy out of you, and really it is draining. But try and understand that there are deep reasons for the person becoming like that. For example, maybe when growing up, she or he was one of 9 and didn't get any attention because there were 8 others to be taken care of. Maybe that person is someone who was overlooked, never seen, who suffered in the silence, who never made a fuss, who never got attention, yet kept it to herself or himself and carried on. All that comes to the surface now. And when it comes to the surface, even he or she is not aware of why she is the way she is. All she knows is that she's feeling a sense of constant dissatisfaction. No matter what is given to her, no matter what problem is solved for her, all she feels within her mind and her heart is dissatisfaction. That dissatisfaction could be stemming not just from the current problems, but from deep-seated wounds, legitimate wounds. So always remember, there is something deeper than what meets the eye, and it may not be up to you to probe into that or sort it out for her, but it will help you to just be a sounding board for her. Remember, that person has probably been through more than you are aware of, for much longer than you are aware of, relating to issues that you are not aware of. So the best thing you can do is, yes, I know it's not easy. Listening to a person like that is not easy, but sometimes all that person wants to do is to vent. She doesn't want her problems even to be solved. She just wants to vent and to release her feelings, her emotions of sadness, despair, not wanting to go on. Now that could be coming from those earlier events and all of the pain that came from events that you don't know of and you have never known. So the first thing you can do is understand that, and thereby have a little more patience to know that there is more than it meets the eye. Because where you may have felt this is unwarranted, this is silly, now you know, oh, so there is more here, and this person actually has been through a lot. And this is why when it comes to these little things, she or he seems to be overreacting. And you will also have a little more respect for that person as a human being who has withstood and endured a lot of pain, maybe in bigger issues than you really are aware of. Secondly, don't ever feel that it is your responsibility to sort the person out. Whereas, of course, you may help if you need, if you feel that you can help or you can sort something out for that person. Yes, go ahead and do it. But don't expect the person to be okay after that. Because as you can see now, there are deep-seated roots, long-standing wounds, unresolved hurts and conflicts that will have this feeling of pessimism that doesn't really go away. You can solve all the problems in the person's life. The feeling of despair will not go away because it's stemming from an old wound that is very much in her subconscious. And even she may not be aware why she is like this, but it's not an easy feeling. So when you do help, just remember that while yes, you are doing the right thing and a great thing in helping the person have one less problem, you are not going to necessarily receive the thanks or the more uplifted countenance of that person, because that person is still experiencing pain from those old unresolved issues and wounds. So second point is, go ahead and help, but be quite okay with not receiving a positive response and not seeing a changed her. Number 3, what can you do? What can you do to stop this feeling of despair in the person? Well, the easy answer or the straight answer is nothing. There's nothing you can do. Of course, there is a lot that a counselor can do. So if you can gently present the person with the idea that if ever she is feeling really bad and needs to sort herself out, it is a good idea to go to a counselor, then it would be great, because a counselor is qualified and trained to help people like her. But as a lay friend, what you can do is to continue to listen, because when you listen, you are helping the person. It may seem like the person is going on and on and on and on, repeating, not seeing the light side, not seeing the bright side of things. But that speaking to you is therapeutic. So it does help her to feel a little bit better, even though it doesn't seem like she is better because of the content of what she's saying, which seems so negative. So don't ever feel that you have done nothing, or don't ever feel frustrated thinking, oh gosh, I listened to her and she put the phone down, she was still in the same place, I don't know what to do. No. You listening to her and helping her to have some place, someone to just go on a little bit about. That in itself helps. Even for the moment, it makes things a little more bearable. So if you can find the time to be there, to hear her out, to be there, to patiently listen. You don't need to think of like you would with a different kind of person, where you would really strategize and think, let me see, how can I help her? And talk it over with her and say, shall we do this? Will this help you make feel better? When it comes to these kinds of people, you don't really need to think of what you can do, because whatever you do is not going to help the person to change. But what you can do is to listen. Listen and don't let it affect you or drain you. Just listen. You will find with people like this that you don't have to say much. You only have to listen. But because all they do is talk. They will talk. They will not even necessarily ask how you are or want to hear much of what you have to say. They just talk. So in this limited time we have on earth, sometimes being the one that someone can talk to is the greatest gift of healing you can give the world. I know it seems like you have done nothing, but actually it means a lot to the other person, even though it seems like it doesn't. It actually is. So those are the three little things that I would like to leave with you, whilst also cautioning you, if ever you feel that it is a little too much, the calls are too much, please don't pick up. Your mental health comes first. You also matter as much as she does. So if ever anything is too much, avoid it. If you don't feel like listening to a barrage of complaints because it brings you down, avoid it. It's perfectly fine. You're not being cruel. You're not being wicked. It's only in order to keep yourself filled up so that you can be there for her for the next time when you feel stronger and better. So just remember that all you have to do is to just listen. Actually, it takes a lot of patience to listen without, being able to see results or being able to see the fruit of your action when you suggest something, not seeing that person take it and do something with it. It's not easy, but just train yourself if you can to feel that even if what you say and do is not taken by the other person, remember that person is not obliged to even help herself. It's a decision that she makes. You're offering something and she cannot make the best out of it. Well, you can't help it. All you got to do is just take a step back and not feel that you have to have a good outcome, not feel that you have to be effective in making the situation better, not feel that you have done nothing because she's still complaining and she's still... So another thing that you can cultivate is the ability to listen to all these complaints and not take it to heart that it is a negative thing. Because remember, there is a good quota of people out there who are complainers because of what they have been through over the years, and nothing you say or do will make them positive people. Nothing will make them feel thankful for anything. Nothing will make them want to know how you are doing. All they will need is for you to listen and for them to talk. So if it is in your heart to do that for them, do that for them, knowing that although it seems like there is no headway in helping the person's situation, you are actually doing the best thing that you could do in a situation like this. So don't expect much, but when you do listen, when the person puts the phone down, seeming completely unchanged, remember that that was quite an act of